Hey everybody, welcome to the next part in the advanced of the unlimited collisions. Um, Today we're going to be going over some additions and how to set up these boxes even faster without having to go through all the same processes of expanding them kind of in the moment. And then we're also going to add these numbers to each collision. These can be toggled on and off using this. So if you don't want them, you can just turn them on and off. And then if you don't want anything, you can just deactivate it like that. And then just one of the main things we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding a box collision that we're going to use for the actual sizing, like to get the measurements quicker. Basically, how it works is we take this box, we put it anywhere, like here for instance, and then we take the location, copy it, go back to the main actor, and then we can add the location here. We just paste that straight in. Back to box, get the box extent, copy it, go back, add another box size, paste it in right there. And then as you can see, a number did show up. And then what we can do is take this box, move it out of the way, and we have our new collision. And then this box does not have any collision. It's not going to have any impact on game performance. It's pretty much there purely to help set up the other collisions easier. And when you're not using it, you can always go into rendering and then just make it not visible. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first off, we're going to take our custom collision and open it up. Before this active location right here, we're going to actually first let's go ahead and add the collision. If I spell it right. So we're going to go ahead and add in a box collision. Just hit compile for now. Okay, so yeah, there's our new box collision. Inside the details panel, I'm going to decrease the size of this top one here. If we click box, we can set the box extent and everything in here. So let's go ahead and do 250, 250, 250. And then because this is a component, we can move it separately from the base actor. So the base actor is still here. This is the component that we've attached directly instead of through the construction script. And then what we can do is these locations are relative to the main actor instead of world location. So if I take this box, let's go ahead and increase it. That. Go ahead and just make it cover this whole section right here. $450. Let's do 800. Let's do more than that. Let's do 1,000. Okay. So now we've got it overlapping with the other box. We've got it right off the edge just a little bit. And it fills the whole space. Now, what we can do is if we copy this location here. We go back to our main. We create a new box. We do this. We can paste it into an index. So that's index 3. So this will be our 4th box. We will create the box sizes. Go back. Go ahead and copy the extent here. Paste. Okay. Now, if we take this box and move it, you'll see we have a new collision that's the exact setup as this right here. So in order to help you basically create more of these quicker without having to hit drag and try to get everything lined up right, you can do it with this box instead, and then just copy and paste the sizes and location into the appropriate arrays. Now, in order to help keep this from causing any problems, like we don't necessarily want this to have collision, or no, you don't want it to have collision, so we don't want it to waste performance. We don't really want it to be there in the actual game itself. So we'll go ahead and open this back up. We actually aren't going to need this. You can go to box, and then we'll just go down to the collisions, and we'll just turn all this off. So visually we will keep it in the engine, but we'll hide it in game, and then we'll turn off collisions and turn off generate overlap events. That way it's not wasting any extra performance that we don't want it to. Pretty straightforward. It'll allow you to kind of create these more easily. So we can do another example real quick. Let's just pull out another one of these. So this is our box collision right here. Let's go ahead and decrease this back to like 500. Let's have the collision sit over here. Boom. We'll just do like that so they're overlapping basically. Let's make it a little bit wider. 750. So we'll do like this. Okay, so now we got that. We can go ahead, copy this location. We want to add a new location down here. Paste. Go back to box. Copy the box extent. Create a new box size. And then paste it in. And now, if we move this, we've got another collision. So that's a faster way to do it than the original setup. Just a nice little addition. This box won't do anything functionally except help you get the exact location and extent you want for an area very quickly without having to worry as much about this active button, because this doesn't really trigger the construction script. So helps with editor performance. It'll keep you from wasting too much time or accidentally like bogging your computer down trying to run through all of the frames at once. And when you're not using this, you can always just kind of lift it up, put it off to the side somewhere, or you can just make it invisible so it's not distracting. There you go. Okay, so I've gone ahead and jumped a little bit forward here. I went ahead and used the blockout tools to go ahead and just make us a quick cube grid. I just did that, added a couple of walls, and I set up some more collisions doing the exact same process as we did over here. Let me just go ahead and get that out of here. Okay, so now that we've got this set up, with a lot of cubes, we're going to have an issue maybe figuring out which cube is which. So we've got all of these, and we're looking at them. We go in here, let's say you change the level a little bit, and you do not know which one is which. All of these look the same. I mean, besides the sizes and locations, it's a little difficult to figure it out. So we're going to go ahead and add numbers to these so that it'll be a little bit easier to recognize which one is which. The numbers will line up with the index. So if you see the number, you'll know that it is index 3, for example. So let's go ahead and I'm going to get out of modeling mode. Let's go ahead and jump into that. Okay, so now that we're in here, first thing, we're going to need to make some space right about here. Let's go ahead, oh, actually, sorry, not this one. Let's go ahead and drag these off. To, right about there. Okay. And then we're going to need to create a text render component. So we'll do add, oh, jeez, add text render component. So this is going to go here. Let's put that right back here. For the relative transform, we're going to want that to be the same as this box location. So we're going to go ahead and just pull this down. We'll reroute it. There we go. So now we should be spawning a text render component in the same location as each of these boxes. It's going to be empty though, so we're going to have to pull off here and change the actual text itself. Jeez. Okay, set text. If you hold control when you're over a node, you can actually grab it and move it. I'm just going to do that. And then for the actual text we're putting into the component, we want it to be this number right here. So we're actually just going to drag off this one, reroute here, reroute, it's here, I'm going to pull up and do that. Actually, you could probably just go straight from this one to this one, so we'll just delete that. Okay, so now we're taking the integer and plugging it directly into the text. And the last thing is, that should work off the bat, but you'll see the numbers are going to be really small. So we're going to go ahead and we need to adjust the size of the text. So we'll do leaf size. Let's just do a set world size. You do 200, I think. You can adjust that as you need. I think 200 is good for us though. Yep, that's fairly large. They can be a little difficult to see. There are some options as well for setting color. So if we do pull off this again, we just do set text render color. You could either break that off or you could split it and you could set in the values directly like that. It can be a little tricky unless you're familiar with the, I believe it's called like hex code. Let's try promoting it to a variable and seeing what we get. Yeah, so if you promote it to a variable, then you get this instead, which is a little easier to work with. So let's just make them all, I don't know. You can make them red if you want. Might be hard to read actually. Do like a blue. I don't actually want mine to be blue, so I'm just going to delete this after showing you how it works. This should, yeah. So now they're all like a light blue. Yeah, that's kind of hard to read actually, but you get the point. You can just pull off, create a variable, and set the color, and then all your numbers will be that color. Delete that, plug this back in. Okay, and now sometimes the numbers are kind of in the way. I don't know if you're doing environment or other stuff. We already have the active, which at this point controls both the boxes and it controls the text render visibility. But let's say you want to keep the boxes, but you don't care about the text render for some reason. We can go ahead and we can just add a branch right here. We'll scoot everything down a bit. Scoot this forward. And let's create a new variable. I actually already have it here. I named mine activate numbers. I just duplicated active like that and then changed it to active numbers like that. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Once you have your Boolean, you can go ahead and set the default value to positive. If it's not, pull out, do a branch, and then you can just plug this in here. For true, it's going to go into the text render. Put that right here. And then for false, we want it to plug directly into these. Let's scoot those back a bit more. Okay. So best way, I guess, would be to just go over. We'll just do a reroute. And then just plug that in right there. I'm going to move these up very slightly. Okay. So now we have the text numbers, and then if we hit active numbers, they go away. Okay. Otherwise, this should still function exactly the same as it did before. So if we play from here, you should see the numbers in the top left for the print going off as we go through the different collisions. Yep, still holding. Okay, perfect. So that all works. So this is basically acting as one giant collision. It's looking good. All right. I think we're good here. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you're able to use this in your project somewhere, and I hope you guys have a good day.